Over 5 years have passed since this thing launched, and yes, I am still daily driving it. But is it really a good idea to buy one right now? I mean, the second-hand market looks pretty good for Quest 2 headsets. Let's put it to the test, see how it holds up today, see what's coming, and see what you should be doing with your money. Spoiler by the way, you might want to act fast. Anyways, let's go. When this headset first came out, it was revolutionary to the VR industry. It single-handedly managed to bring virtual reality out of its niche right into mass appeal. However, the immediate pop of the VR metaverse bubble, as well as everything surrounding that, which brought VR to everyone's attention, including the big guys, meant that suddenly thousands of headsets started catching dust or going cheap on marketplaces. A trend that to this day sees capable and functioning headsets for under $100 listed. And you should buy one. Or should you? I'm a VR game developer, as well as played probably around 1,000 hours of VR since I got this mighty machine of a headset. But how does it hold up to today's standard? First off, Meta actually kept this thing alive. We've had hand tracking 2.2, improved performance through software updates, and even a couple of UI overhauls that made it feel almost modern again. I do still hate this though. Games still run great. Population 1, Gorilla Tag, Beat Saber, Superhot, all these are still smooth and completely playable. You can also get better straps, a better battery, a better face cover and prescription lenses. There's quite a lot of modding that can be done to this headset. And you do need to keep in mind that the Quest 2 headset will, for a good while, be the base specs developers will go after, because most of the audience is still there. But of course, there's a catch. You do start noticing limitations when you play anything built for the newer chipsets. Textures get downgraded, loading screens are longer, and you can basically hear the post-gen run Snapdragon screaming for mercy when you launch Asgard's Wrath 2. Still, it just works, which is quite impressive. How does it compare to its competitors though? Well, if we talk standalone, we have to talk about the big three. Compared to the Quest 3 and 3S, the Quest 2 does technically lag behind here. Gen 1 Snapdragon XR2 chip compared to the Gen 2 in both the 3S and 3. Just 6 instead of 8 gigs of RAM, although similar in terms of resolution, battery life and weight. When it comes to real upgrades though, the lenses and the pass-through will be what might make you want to upgrade. Quest 2 and Quest 3S have both Fresnel lenses. Although great in concept, the concentric circles on the surface will noticeably add more glare to as the light scatters at the edges of the grooves. Also, it has a really narrow focus sweet spot. Combined with how front heavy it is, just a bit of slipping is enough for your view to get completely defocused. Yes, I have a personal bias against them. Yes, I hate them. Yes, I wish to die. The Quest 3 on the other hand has pancake lenses. It both slide internally between its layers of individual lenses, which avoids light distortion almost entirely and allows for a broader focus sweet spot. Also, pancake lenses allow for much smaller headsets, as its smaller size and stronger focus shift range allow for them to be much closer to the screen. Then the pass-through, which goes from grayscale IR-based pass-through to full color with both the 3S and 3 headsets, so mixed reality is properly playable. But the big factor at the end is price, with the prices going up to $549 for the 512 gig version. But if pancake lenses are a deciding factor for you, and you have some spare $200 lying around, the Quest 3 does become the best option for you. But when it comes to best bang for your buck, the Quest 2 will still be the best option. Just keep in mind that it's not available in new anymore, so if new is the only option for you, the 3S would be its direct replacement. Besides, it's not like the Quest 3 fixes the link situation. God, I love troubleshooting for 5 hours. But if we talk real competition, well, then we'll have to talk about PCVR. At this point, Meta kind of has the monopoly on standalone headsets. Sure, there is the Pico headsets. However, the Pico standalone library is a far shot from the Meta library, so for this reason, I am only considering it as a PCVR base. Here the range is much broader. The Quest 2 with its 1832 by 1920 resolution holds up pretty well against the competition, even beating the Index and HTC Vive. Even when it comes to refresh rate, it gets beaten only by the Vive Index. But in FOV, it's by far the lowest of the bunch, partially because of its Fresnel lenses. But still, we again see how when it comes to getting the most out of your money, it's easily still the cheapest of the group, even considering the second-hand market for all of them. Listen, I'm not trying to sell this thing to you. I'm also debating getting a Quest 3, but man, I'm not sure if I'm ready to spend half a grand just for better lenses, even if they are pretty good ones. Anyways, those are the current ones. But what about this guy? Valve's next headset, a standalone headset. Top specs, no Metalink, no Facebook login, inside-out tracking, and rumored to be around $1,200 bucks. Oh. So, do I get the new Steam headset? Or do I stick with mine and 2,000 chicken nuggets? Well, still, let's see what we would be missing out on. The Samsung Galaxy XR, which just launched, uses a 4K micro OLED display, powered by a Snapdragon XR2 Gen 2 chip and 16 gigs of RAM. Also, it is fully standalone. However, $1,800 is going to be the price you have to pay to get one of these. Quite a lot of headset for quite a lot of money. Quite similar to Valve's upcoming headset. Though still a bit cheaper, reports say it's entering mass production right now, aiming for a late 2025 launch pretty close from now. So possibly a $1,200 Christmas gift with a possible cheaper option maybe on the way. It's rumored to have a 2880 by 1600 micro OLED screen together with all of the advantages the Quest devices bring. It is an incredible device, if the rumors are true. Nothing is truly known yet, but still, if you have the money, probably the best choice will be to wait on them, as we can at least trust that we will get a good experience out of this headset knowing Valve's great track record. Though for that price, the big screen Beyond 2 also would be a good option. They already launched, meaning that you can buy one right now, but shipping may take quite a few months. But for that, you are getting the smallest and lightest OLED PCVR headset there is. For around the $800 mark, the Pimax Crystal Light also becomes an option, although availability has been a bit rough as well. If you can get one, you'd have a 2880 by 2880 resolution screen with a 130 diagonal field of view, by far the largest of all of them. Then there is the Shifter Superlight, Apple Vision Pro, Pimax's other headsets, and a whole lot of enterprise headsets. But if we were complaining about the $1,200 price mark for Valve's offering, then I believe we won't need to go much deeper than this. So yeah, there is still a lot coming. But every single next-gen headset is at least 3 to 10 times the price of a used Quest 2. And that's the point. Sure, they look better, sure, they'll be more advanced, but if you just want to play Beat Saber and VR chat without taking out a loan, you're still gonna be fine with a Quest 2. So then, who should get what? Let's break it down. In my opinion, if you're new to VR and just want to see what it's about, Quest 2, maybe the Quest 3S, if you want something new. Potentially less than $100, plug and play, and still runs 95% of the VR library. If you want a more modern experience with better graphics, comfort and mixed reality, Quest 3, maybe a Pico headset if you can get it for cheap. Seeing that a Quest 4 might be far away from happening, if at all, it's pretty much future-proofed, although a bit pricier. If you got money to spare, wait and buy yourself the upcoming Valve headset. It's for sure going to be the VR flagship for a while, and you already know Valve is going to do a great job. I sure know that I will be keeping my eye on it. So, I guess I'll stick with my Quest 2 headset for now. Might as well subscribe in case I do end up getting the Steam headset and you wouldn't want to miss my review on it. Go and watch this video, and if you'll excuse me, I'll try to figure out what I'll be doing with all of these chicken nuggets. Yeah.